What's up? Welcome back in chapters to a long awaited. I feel like it's been exactly a year since they made this announcement, maybe a little over a year, and we finally got in. If you haven't already noticed by the thumbnail, and you are an Xmen versus Sentinel 1/10 scale Iron Studios collector, we have none other than the Mojo Deluxe BDS Art Scale 1/10. Now this is a deluxe piece, so typically when you hear deluxe versus a traditional just 1/10 scale, it's because it has an additional bonus feature. But this piece in particular, there was only one form you can purchase of it, which is this deluxe piece. So there is no like alternative base to this that's more simplistic. It's none other than Mojo, and I'm so excited for this piece because growing up, I loved that side story in the animated series with Mojo, and it was so epic. And to have this piece, I didn't think this is a piece they were gonna make, and it's so iconic. I'm so excited. But before we dive into this video, how rude of me, let me introduce myself. My name is Jean-Pierre Bon Jovi. I'm a content creator and collector here on YouTube. And if you're meeting me for the first time because you just so happen to find me through the YouTube algorithm, I'd love for you to stay connected. So make sure to like this video if you found value in it. Comment below, do you own this? Do you have this on pre-order? Are you passing on it? I'd love to hear your feedback. And most importantly, subscribe. It takes less than 3 seconds, and hit that bell to get notified every time I bring content to you every Monday and Thursday. And without further ado, let's go ahead, dive in, and dissect this big boy. So this is, again, a massive, massive box. This is the biggest box I've ever experienced. Personally, one of the bigger boxes I ever got from Iron Studios 1/10 scale was the Blob. Now, I did hear that the Juggernaut was a big piece too, but this is a much bigger piece than both of them. So this is the biggest box we've gotten thus far. I know the Dark Phoenix box, when that comes out, the deluxe version, that's going to be quite epic and big. But I don't know. Is it going to be bigger than this? Who knows? Now, I will say, this was delivered today. I did get this from Iron Studios. Now, what was really cool was you had until the 31st due to this was on pre-order. And then literally the day it dropped, Iron Studios had a San Diego Comic-Con code. So if you use the code SDCC2022, you got free shipping, and you got, was it like $20 off? The $20 off, I think it was $22 off as well. So I ended up getting this for about, after my 10% deposit plus the discount, and again, I didn't pay for shipping, I ended up paying close to like $265 for this piece. Versus if you would have purchased this with shipping with no discount code whatsoever, you'd be paying about $325 for this, $340, maybe even up to $350 for this after taxes and shipping. So excited. Iron Studios, this is the first time ever, I can't believe this, they've shipped a piece out to me before Sideshow Collectibles. What? Crazy. So I'm so excited that we got it before Sideshow did. I will say one thing, I'm scared shitless because there's a piece in here that sounds loose. I'm hoping, because this isn't a big piece, that there's just, that's just a loose piece in there that's not damaged. So let's really have some prayers and fingers crossed that there are no breakatures in this. I actually just ordered a Disney statue this week. I was missing one of 3 statues to complete my collection, and it was a $400 piece I got on eBay, and it came damaged, and I was just absolutely heartbroken. So I had to return it. I felt terrible for the seller, but the seller was sitting on this piece for Lord knows how long. He never inspected it. He literally gave it to me without inspecting the piece. So I feel terrible because he had to pay for that shipping going and coming, but always want to make sure you're inspecting your pieces. Oh, this box is massive, 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 y'all. So when you do purchase this through Iron Studios or through Sideshow, it's going to come in this Iron Studios Unicorn. Typically, Iron Studios will put this in a box within a box, but because this is so big, they didn't do it this time around. Here is the return label, just in case. Ooh, the instructions come outside of the box. Hold on. So the instructions actually come, the instruction manual comes outside, and you're going to need instructions for this piece. I do know there is one other collector who lives in Singapore. Typically, Asia gets these pieces before any other market does. And someone today There's an incredible Facebook group. If you're not a part of it, if you are a collector here for Iron Studios, there's an incredible Facebook group called Iron Studios Xmen vs. Sentinel, and they are incredible. That group, you always, collectors share their displays. It's such an incredible group. Wow, this is absolutely gorgeous. And the color of this is like this khaki green. Oh, it's amazing. And so I did see one of the people. There's only one other video on YouTube, and it's someone who's already assembled it. It's like a quick 5-minute video. This is hopefully I'm bringing you one of the more immersive videos here on YouTube for this piece. And I will say, the seller, the buyer, when the collector, when he posted it on his YouTube video, he did say it comes with a lot of pieces, and he hopes he got it right. So I'm hoping this isn't going to be a hassle like the, what's his name? The Quicksilver, but let's see. So as you can see here, you have a zoomed in scale. I mean, look at this beauty, baby, of Mojo. Absolutely love this art box. It's beautiful. It does have that Worlds Collect new style art box. It says Iron Studios. It has this 2 shades of green, and in the back you have a 1/10 scale zoomed out piece. Oh, this looks... Y'all, this looks amazing. It says Mojo on the side, and on the top it has the Xmen logo, and it says Mojo. The box looks immaculate, the art box, so that's a good sign, right? Good sign. But now let's see what happens once we unfold this bad boy. This is by far the biggest 1/10 scale statue I've ever gotten. This box is massive. So do bear that in mind. Now, for some reason, for a lot of collectors, this was not a popular piece. I mean, for me it was. I thought it was so nostalgic and so iconic, and I just had to have it. Because I know there are some collectors that are not committed to collecting every single piece. So yeah. There you have it. Let's bring this bad boy down. All right. I will also say just now, as of the filming of this video today, this is being filmed on August 1st, and this will air next week, Thursday. There is in the Iron Studios group, someone from, I believe, Singapore just posted an image of Havoc arriving, which was, and Warpath arriving today. So that's pretty awesome. And that same collector was the one who got Mojo about 2.5 weeks ago. So if all goes well, Iron Studios will hopefully ship those out sometime this month as well. So I'm so excited for that. And Logan is supposed to come out as well, and so is LC and I forget his name, the robotic Wolverine. I keep forgetting, and also X23 and Spiral, and so many other pieces are also they're ready to launch this year. So I'm so excited to get them. So let's just look at this. Oh wow. Okay, so there's a lot of build here. There's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 10 pieces in total, and there is an instruction on how to build it. So I do appreciate that. This is a lot more immersive than the Quicksilver piece. So yay for that. All right, let's go ahead and dive into this bad boy. Always want to open it this side up, where you notice the Iron Studios logo. Make sure you open it this side up. If you open it the other side, your pieces are going to come falling apart. So be mindful of that. Now, I do have some unfortunate news. I have been stalking Iron Studios' social medias, and both on Instagram and Facebook, I've inquired about future releases of, what's the future of the Sentinel versus Xmen line. There is still 18 figures I would love released. I'm going to go ahead and upload a photo right there. Yeah, I'm going to leave that up there for a while too, so you can simmer in that. Because I so desperately want all those pieces. I mean, how do we not have Toad, Avalanche? I want regular form Phoenix, Marrow, Shard. There's so many incredible pieces I want to see. And we get to have them. And so I inquired, and on both occasions, their Iron Studios staff did reply back, and they said, at the moment, we don't have an answer, and we are moving forward with Age of Apocalypse. So if you haven't already seen, there is the Age of Apocalypse line, which for a lot of people was one of the first times we got like a multiverse version of a comic book series. It was such a pioneer storyline, and so many people really loved it. It's a darker aesthetic, and it's not it's really not the animated series that we know and love so much, but it still was so nostalgic and so iconic. And I believe, did it not have I'm not sure, did the animated series ever have like a side, I could have sworn the animated series did feature it, I don't remember. And you can, by the way, you can watch the animated series on Disney Plus. And in 2023, the 97 version's coming out. And so I did inquire and I did ask them. I said, hey, what's going on? And that was their response, that at the moment they have, that's not their intention. So my biggest suggestion, if you are a big fan, aficionado of this line, please make sure that you are, putting in your request, because they do listen. Iron Studios does listen on their socials and demand it. I'm personally not going down that rabbit hole, and I will not be purchasing the Age of Apocalypse series. One, because I'm not going down that rabbit hole. Two, it's these dioramas take up so much space, and this is the world's largest diorama scene ever done by a studio. No studio has ever done anything comparable to this size in such a in such a big collection. So I want to stick to just this, and I'm committed to not supporting the Age of Apocalypse line. All the more power to all of you collectors who are going for it. Absolutely, go for it if you have the space, if you have the funds. I personally do not have the space to afford such a large collection. So let's go ahead and dive in. This is huge. We're going to start with the base. And again, please, fingers crossed, no breakagers. This base is incredibly heavy. Incredibly heavy. Wow. I did know that the collector who posted this from Singapore on YouTube, he did say he was not in the mood to put this back away because it was just a hassle building, and I can only imagine what it's going to look like. So, by the way, the bottom base says Marvel Comics, Mojo, Iron Studios, 1/10 scale. As you all know, there is no addition size to any of these pieces. This is what seems to be the front, and as you can see, this is part of the courtyard scene. I will say, I like the texture here, but again, it's not too detailed. The cobblestone is of a different shade than the cobblestone outside of the courtyard of the school, so it's a completely different hue. There what seems to be like a uproot of a tree bark. And again, Mojo never had any business ever in. He was never in the X mansion. He was never part of our universe. And so I mean, it's a little odd to have him here, but nevertheless, I guess he's just such an iconic character, so that's why they added him. So the first thing we're gonna want to do is want to get Mojo. That's the first step. So we're gonna follow the step-by-step instruction. So this is what seems to have been loose, just like wobbling, which is great. We're gonna go ahead, let me observe this bad boy. His face looks incredible. Those bug eyes, my God, this piece looks sexy. Okay, so far no breakagers, yay. As you can see, here's the peg. So we're gonna go ahead and peg this bad boy in here. There you go. And then there is this side piece right here, and this is gonna go let's see. So this has a hook. Nope. They all look, I mean, all these pieces look the same. Okay, we're just gonna keep it to the side. And we're gonna move on and see what happens. All right. So it's basically saying that it wants all the pieces connected. But how? I wish you just kept them. God, you're the worst. Okay, so it looks like all these pieces are going to be the same. So I don't know. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, these all look. Oh, okay. No, this is more of a thin peg. Okay, they are very light, by the way. So these these cybernetic feet are all very, very, very lightweight. So they're not heavy, which is awesome. I do appreciate that. The pieces look almost identical, so there is no distinction from one to the other. I bet we'll find some. The pegs on some of them may be distinct. This one's a smaller one. This probably looks like it's going to go up in the front. This is one of the... Yep, this is going to go on the top of him. It's one of the cannons. Here is another cannon. They are near identical. And we have another piece here, which is one of those shorter legs. Wow, this is an intense build. And then we have his... Wow, this is colossal, y'all. So his spine... Oh my god. What is going on here? This is colossal. Alright, let's move this out of the way. For space purposes. Y'all, look at this. Look at that detail. Look at that. It's very lightweight, surprisingly. So incredibly detailed. Oh my god, I can't even right now. So, before we dive into that, let's actually follow these instructions. These instructions are absolutely horrific. They are. And it seems like it's telling us we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4 of those big legs. So that's these right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And those 4 legs are going to connect. Looking at this image, 2 are going to go, okay, great. So 2 go up front. And yeah, 2 go up front, 2 go to the side. So what we do know here is this one's a little different. And this one's going to be almost like magnetized. Oh, I see what happened here. This doesn't have a peg. The metal peg is missing here. Almost as if it went connected here and it's damaged somehow. That's what's missing here is the actual peg. All right, we're going to revisit that in a moment. Let's look at these two. And where would that piece go? So we're going to remove Mojo and see, yep, there it is. So that piece that I said that felt loose, it's right here. So this would have to be glued in because the actual peg, this piece was like glued in or something, and the actual peg is in there, stuck in the glue. It makes absolutely no sense why they would do that. Or almost as if this piece came like this automatically and it broke off. I don't know. So it is a damaged piece. I've never received a damaged piece before, and it for sure is damaged. Wow. These legs are very, very, very loose in general. All right, so the instructions do say have this in the peg first, so that's what we're going to do first. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead. All these pieces are, I just want to make sure that they're identical. Nope, this one's a little different. How about this one? These two are identical, and these two are identical. That's good to know. And that's probably going to support us here. Awesome. These two that are identical, the larger ones, are the ones that go back here. So this is going to go, as I mentioned before here, it's the damaged one. And this one is going to go over here. But it does say that this goes clamped there, so maybe it's not this one, and it is this one. Yeah, it's this one. Well, that's not the right instructions. All right, we're back, and this was an absolute nightmare. The build on this is, I don't even know where to begin. My God, Ugh, my head hurts. This was incredibly exhausting. Instructions were poor. I'm really good at puzzles, and I found this challenging, and not because it's challenging to put together. Outside of these two front pieces, it's a little difficult conceptualizing and putting it together because the fear that you have is you're gonna break something. And even like while I was moving Mojo, one of these pegs fell off. Thank God, like I said, these are not made of polystone; they're a lot lighter in weight. So thank God, nothing damaged in that aspect. But I will say the build on this is absolutely horrendous. This instruction manual is absolute garbage. And yeah, and even in this instruction manual, it shows that the guns have like this blast that comes out of them. So if you zoom in here, it shows that the top two guns have like these smoke blasts, and that's not even featured on this. So it's like a prototype design that they didn't even remove. This is horrible, horribly made. And again, because they are a Brazilian company, Iron Studios, and they appeal to so many markets worldwide, they don't have instructions specifically in any language. It's like a you read, you get. Except it's terrible. Now, I want to start with overall the idea, the concept of this, the magnitude of this piece, and just how incredibly gorgeous it is. Forgetting the build is a 10. This concept here, it's larger than life. I always considered Mojo the male version of Ursula, and he's just it's just so gluttonous, it's so over the top. The detail on his face as you zoom in, his eyeballs, I wish his teeth would have had that clear enamel that they do on a lot of teeth features. It give him more of that like that gluttonous look, but nevertheless it looks incredible, even though his teeth are they are matted. His eyes look incredible. The brain tentacles going to the back of his spine, they look incredible. He has different shades of like mustard, yellow, which look amazing. There's some orange shadowing. There's some brown shadowing. There's very subtle green shadowing on him. He looks absolutely amazing. His fingers are so incredibly detailed. Now, this piece did come damaged, and I do feel that everyone's piece is either going to come damaged, and it's because this piece right over here comes glued automatically to Mojo. And I could be wrong, and I'm curious, if you own this, please give me clarity, because there is glue residue on the piece and to that. And the peg, during shipment, remember he said I felt something wobbling? It was that. It like the metal peg broke inside, so I can't remove that. There's like this glue layer, and then you have this. Now, the great part about this is, conveniently, it was a great thing that it came damaged, because I feel like if you try to apply this with this and put the other legs, it's going to damage because of pressure, and now it just rests beautifully without that pressure on that peg, which again, it's this leg right here, but you wouldn't be able to tell, and it's the last piece for you to connect. The first piece you're going to want to connect is this tentacle, this leg, and then this one right here. And then you want to proceed with this back one over here. And then you want to go ahead with the two small ones in the front. Those are not being supported to the ground. And something that's going to support you is each of the hooks, each of the pegs on his legs. There is there's like a little, I won't say it's a peg, but there's a hollowness, like a little, like an area where you can stab it in, and you can tell that's where the legs are going to go. So I do love that for support. And because he is so heavy, every time he is moving on the concrete on the ground, he is creating those dents. So I like that realism that it did create, which was awesome. Now, these gun details on the back are absolutely horrendous. They are very loose in general. They are poorly made. They don't like have a snug fit at all. It's absolutely atrocious. It's the worst part of the build are these two guns, how they peg in. It's just horrible. And you're going to want to peg those in before you put up his spine. And then lastly, you have like that Doc Ock spine. That piece does not fit all the way in. You want to be very delicate when putting it in and wiggle it little by little, but there is a gap there. And so, yeah, I mean, it's in there, but it's there. This is definitely a piece that I don't even want to take apart. Like, I don't even ever want to put this back away in the box because it was just a complete nightmare building. Now, overall, it looks absolutely phenomenal. This piece is absolutely gorgeous. Minus the fact that the manual was horrible, it shows that there's like supposed to be like some smoke coming out of these Gatling guns. And you don't get that feature. And by the way, there are holes in both of them, like inserts, so like it can definitely would have had that feature. Not unless mine didn't come with it, but in no way in this instruction manual, it does not show that you get those extra bursts anywhere. It looks like it was a conceptual design and it just went over budget and they never added it. Because here are the guns, and even the guns have the burst, but my guns didn't have the burst. So I'm curious, if yours did have the burst, please comment below. Mine's didn't, so I presume it's just not coming with it, and that was part of the prototype in the initial sketch. So overall, my review, what do I give this piece? Conceptually and just keen and likeness and just the beauty of it and the mass scale, minus the horrible build and the fact that the piece did come damaged, but it's actually a benefit that it came damaged, so I'm not mad at it either. I'm gonna give this piece a solid 9. I'm not, you know what? I'm gonna give this piece a solid 8. I can't give this a 9 because I will say I'm also not a fan of the base. The base is not incredibly detailed like Sauron or Cable. Those are the best outdoor bases I've ever experienced, and we definitely don't have that with this piece. So I have to give this piece an 8. It's absolutely amazing. It's iconic. You need to get it. I mean, I will say, like, if you're collecting the series, you definitely want to own this. It looks amazing. So overall, an incredible piece. You get to have this. It's an amazing piece in your collection. It's going to have frustration to build, but nevertheless, it sounds like a broken record now. I think it's amazing. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, this is a beauty. This is an absolute beauty. And yeah, what are your thoughts on this? Will you be owning this? Please comment below. Subscribe once again. Don't forget to hit that bell to get notified. It means the world. I'm owning every single piece in this line, so you can review my channel and look at all the previous pieces that have already been released, so you can hear my review on them as well. I do rate all the pieces out of 10. And there's very few of them that have gotten a perfect 10. I think I've only ever given 4 pieces a perfect 10, so I'm going to give this an 8. I really do hope you appreciated this video. Thank you so much for being here. It means the world to me to have you here. And go check out the previous videos on my channel. Let's stay connected, and I will catch you all on the next one. Bye.